Some stories aren't about happy endings. Some are about the people we love, lose, and carry with us anyway. This is the story of Meera and Aryan, a love that lived beyond time, beyond illness, beyond the moment they said goodbye. This is When We Vanish, a tragic romance that doesn't end when love fades, but when memory does. Title: When We Vanish. Genre: tragic romance/contemporary fiction. Setting: Kathmandu and Pokhara, Nepal. Chapter 1: The train station that never sleeps. It was raining the morning Aryan met her. The kind of slow drizzle that blurred the edges of the world, like a memory trying to fade. Pokhara's streets, always so alive with tourists and dreamers, felt unusually quiet. The station cafe's rusty bell chimed when he walked in, his hoodie damp, camera bag clinging to his side. He wasn't supposed to be there. He had a flight booked to Australia the next week, an internship, a break from his artist's block. But his heart kept pulling him somewhere else. Somewhere he hadn't figured out yet. And then she walked in. Blue kurta, an old book in hand, her hair slightly tangled from the breeze. Not stunning in the way magazines show love, but real. And that made it dangerous. "Is this seat taken?" she asked. He looked up, into the kindest eyes he'd ever seen. "It's all yours." She sat, pulled out her tea flask like it was her ritual, and began reading again. No drama, no flirting, just peace. "I'm Aryan," he said after 2 full minutes of silence. She smiled, not looking up from her book. "I know. You're on Instagram. The photographer who finds sadness in silence, right?" He laughed softly, surprised. "You stalked me?" "Please," she replied, finally meeting his eyes. "The whole city follows you." That day turned into a week. One coffee became late-night calls. One walk turned into hidden alley explorations. She showed him her favorite poetry, written on abandoned walls. He showed her the world through his lens. Her name was Meera. But Meera had a secret, one she held like a ticking clock behind her smile. Aryan could sense it, in the way she watched the horizon too long or the way she whispered, "Don't fall in love with me," like it was both a prayer and a warning. But he did. He fell. Hard. And so did she. Until one day she vanished. Without a message. Without a trace. Leaving only a letter taped to his door. Excerpt from the letter. "You are the first person who ever made me believe I could be more than just borrowed time. But I am dying, Aryan. And I couldn't let you stay in love with a ghost." Chapter 2. The space between words. Aryan read the letter 10 times. Folded it. Unfolded it. Held it like it might crumble if he breathed too hard. "I am dying, Aryan." The words blurred each time, like they refused to exist. The apartment felt colder, without her laugh echoing off the walls. He walked around, searching for traces. An earring under the couch, the scent of her chai lingering in the cup she always used, a half-finished poem tucked inside his photography book. She was everywhere and nowhere all at once. For 2 weeks, he didn't touch his camera. The city moved on. People posted photos, fell in love, argued in taxis. Life kept moving, heartless in its indifference. But Aryan? He paused. He remembered something she once told him on a rooftop night in Lakeside. "If I ever disappear, don't look for me with your eyes. Look for me in the things I loved." So he did. He took the bus to places they used to go. The bookstall near Mahendrapal, the old theatre where they snuck in to watch a black and white film, the riverbank where she danced barefoot just to make him laugh. Still nothing. Until one evening, in the dying light, he opened the poetry book she left behind. A loose page slipped out. On it, her handwriting. Roctacoli Ward. Room 403. "Don't remember me as sick. Just come if you still love me." He read it over and over. His heart cracked open. Not because she was gone, but because she had hoped he'd still love her after knowing the truth. He packed his camera. Not for art this time, but for memory. Chapter 3. Roctacoli. Roctacoli was a small palliative care hospital on the edges of Bhaktapur. Most didn't even know it existed. The air smelled like antiseptic and prayers. Nurses moved like ghosts, quiet and gentle. Aryan stood outside room 403. His hand hovered over the doorknob. Was she still there? Was it too late? He pushed the door slowly. She was asleep. Thinner than he remembered. Hair shorter. But it was her. His heart squeezed at the sight. Her eyes fluttered open. And for a second, silence. Then, "Aryan." He dropped the camera bag and ran to her, holding her like he could stop time from moving. "I'm sorry," she whispered. "No," he said, voice breaking. "I'm the one who's sorry. For not finding you sooner." She touched his face gently. "You did. You always do. Chapter 4, Borrowed Days. They gave her 3 weeks. Not months. Not years. Just 21 days of borrowed breath. Aryan didn't ask questions. He didn't want medical terms to cloud the little time they had left. His only plan was simple. Make her smile. Every day. Even if it broke him. The hospital became their tiny world. He brought fairy lights and stuck them along the windows. She laughed at how childish he looked, trying to untangle them. You're turning my hospital room into a wedding mandip, she teased. Then marry me, he said, only half joking. She looked at him, really looked. Don't say that unless you mean it. I do, Aryan replied. You're the only thing that ever made sense. She turned away, but he saw the tears slip from her eyes. Each day became a memory. A day 2. He brought her favorite food from the cafe they first met in. She couldn't eat much, but she fed him with her hands just to feel normal again. A day 5. He showed her the photo album he'd never shared with anyone. Inside were pictures of her she didn't even know he had taken. Moments of her reading, laughing, sleeping in the grass. You captured my soul, she whispered. You gave it to me. A day 9, she had a seizure. Brief. Violent. The doctors stabilized her. But Aryan cried for hours in the hallway. He hated God that night. On day 14, she asked him to take her outside. They snuck out, wheelchair and all, to a small hill behind the hospital. The sky was heavy with stars, and the city lights blinked like fireflies. I wish I had more time, she said quietly. Aryan sat beside her, holding her cold fingers. Me too. But you gave me the kind of love that lives forever. You made me feel like a poem. She leaned her head on his shoulder. And you made me feel like I wasn't dying. Just living slower than everyone else. Chapter 5, The Vanishing. Day 17. Her body was shutting down. The doctors stopped using complicated words. Now it was just, make her comfortable. Aryan didn't cry in front of her. He smiled, held her hand, read her poems, showed her the sunrises he captured that morning. But at night, when she was asleep, he broke. Alone in the hospital bathroom, he sat on the cold floor and let himself fall apart. He wanted to scream at the universe for giving him something so beautiful and snatching it away in slow motion. Day 18. She couldn't speak much anymore. Her voice was a whisper, but her eyes still told stories. She looked at him like he was her whole world. And somehow, that look hurt more than any goodbye. She reached for the notebook on the bedside table. Her hand shook, but she wrote, I'm not afraid of dying anymore. I'm afraid of you forgetting me. He knelt beside her, tears finally free. Meera, I will never forget you. You are in my bones. She smiled faintly. And for a moment, the room didn't feel like a hospital. It felt like home. Day 20. Aryan woke up to the sound of rain outside her window. She was still sleeping. Too still. He touched her hand. Cold. Then he touched her wrist. No pulse. The world became quiet. Just like that. She vanished. He didn't scream. He didn't sob. He just sat there beside her, his forehead resting on her hand, whispering, You promised I'd find you in the things you loved. So I'll look for you forever. Chapter 6. The Exhibition of Goodbye. It had been 40 days since Meera's last breath. Pokhara felt the same, but Aryan wasn't. His world had tilted. People still walked, smiled, lived. But he had turned into a shadow, moving between memory and silence. He didn't return to social media, didn't speak to friends. Instead, he worked. Every night, until dawn, surrounded by prints, light boxes, notebooks, and chai-stained letters. He was building something only she would understand. She vanishes in light. A private photo exhibition. Only 30 people invited. No press. No publicity. Held in an old, abandoned theatre Meera had once loved. The one where she whispered, This place feels like forgotten love. On the walls were photos never posted online. Moments of her. Fleeting smiles. Soft sadness. Midnight streetlights kissing her hair. Her dancing in rain. Her sleeping with poetry pressed to her chest. Each photo had a title. Day 1. The Girl with the Blue Book. Borrowed time, borrowed hands. Love at the edge of goodbye. She vanishes in light. People didn't talk much at the show. They just stood, watched, and cried. Some strangers told him afterward, I never knew her, but I feel like I lost something too. Near the end of the gallery, Aryan placed a single object in a glass box. His camera, the one he used to capture all of it. Beside it, a small note. She left me more than love. She left me a voice. The final message. That night, after the gallery closed, Aryan sat alone with his camera. He hadn't turned it on in weeks. When he finally did, There it was, a short video file titled, "If I Go." He pressed play. And there she was, Meera, sitting on their old apartment floor, weeks before she left. Her face calm, her voice soft. "Hi Aryan. I'm not sure when you'll find this. Maybe I'm already gone. If so, I'm sorry. I know you probably hate me for disappearing. But you should know, I didn't leave because I was scared of dying. I left because I was scared of making you watch me fade. You saved me, not from the illness, but from feeling invisible. You gave me the kind of love people write stories about. And I want you to keep writing, keep capturing, even when it hurts. Especially when it hurts. One day, you'll find someone who makes you smile again. Don't feel guilty. I want that for you. Just don't forget the girl who loved rain, poetry, and you." She smiled. "Goodbye, Aryan. I'll meet you in the light." The screen went black. And Aryan? He finally let go. Chapter 7. The Girl with the Blue Book. 3 years later, Aryan had stopped taking photos for a long time. Grief had dimmed the color from everything. Even light felt grey. But something inside him, maybe Meera, kept whispering. Live. Not survive. Live. He moved to Kathmandu, grew a small beard, started teaching photography at a local art school. Quiet life. Fewer memories. On a rainy Thursday afternoon, he stepped into a cafe he hadn't been to before. He ordered black coffee, sat by the window, opened his book. And then he saw her, a girl at the corner table, reading. The same exact blue-covered poetry book Meera used to carry. Its pages were worn, edges curled. For a second, the air left his lungs. She looked up. Their eyes met. It wasn't Meera. Of course it wasn't. But something in the way this girl smiled, like she too had loved someone and lost them, felt familiar. After a pause, she closed her book, walked over, and asked, "Sorry, are you Aryan Rai, the photographer?" He blinked. "Yeah." She smiled. "My sister used to talk about you. She came to your exhibition years ago. Said it changed her life." He nodded slowly. "That was a long time ago." The girl sat across from him. "Funny thing," she said, tapping the book. "This belonged to her. I carry it everywhere." Aryan swallowed. "What was her name?" "Meghna." He smiled sadly. "She sounds like someone worth writing about." They talked for hours. Not about love. Not about death. Just about art. Books. Dreams. Life. When he left that cafe, it wasn't with butterflies or fireworks. But for the first time in years, he walked a little lighter. Epilogue, When We Vanish. 1 year later, Aryan published a photo book. He titled it, When We Vanish. The first page held a single line. Some people leave too early, but they don't disappear. They become the light behind every photo, the warmth inside every word, and the silence between every heartbeat. Inside were not just images, but letters, poetry, and fragments of a love story that never really ended. Just shifted. Like light. Some people leave too early, but they don't disappear. They become the light behind every photo, the warmth inside every word, and the silence between every heartbeat. The end. If this story touched you, leave a comment. Let me know which part stayed with you the longest. And if you've ever loved someone you had to let go, this one's for you. Blackheart subscribe for more cinematic love stories, motion design visuals, and emotional storytelling.